Hi, everyone. Let's welcome our guest, Fernando Velasco, to Flow 360. Welcome.
Thank you, Diraj. It's a real pleasure being part of your program.
Thank you. I'm happy to have you here today. I wanted to get it started with where you were born and how your childhood was. Let's
Okay.
talk about Bolivia.
Bolivia, center of South America. I was born in La Paz, which is the highest city in South America. The airport is 12,000 feet above sea level, but at
Wow.
the age of 2, my parents had a wisdom to go and live in Cochabamba,
Hmm.
which was a city at that time was 200,000 people. The temperature not below 40,
Okay.
never about 80.
Wow.
Perfect conditions to do every sport: soccer, tennis, gymnastics, basketball, all year long. We never had air conditioning, we never had heaters.
Okay. Okay. I know that you got involved in a sport later on, especially with tennis.
Mhm.
But can we talk about your experience with swimming and diving, especially?
Okay. My mom and dad were very sports oriented, and we started to get some private swim lessons, and we had a club that we used to go and participate. And from the age of 8 to the age of 15, I never lost a race. I was supposed to be the next future of swimming
Hmm.
in Bolivia. But unfortunately, at the age of 15, I was also not only swimming, but I was also a diving champion.
Hmm.
At the age of 15, I was practicing for the swim meet and the diving meet. There was going to be a national event. And I ended up taking off from a 3 meter board, went up high, and underneath the diving board, a young man was diving underneath it. So I tried to stop myself up in the air, but I couldn't. So we collided head to head.
Wow.
I had, got out of the water. I had blacked out almost. When I saw him hit like this, and I thought that I killed him. But I took him out of the water, and he's crying. He was only
Hmm.
12 years old. He said, "I'm so sorry. I wasn't supposed to be in the area. I didn't see you. You're going to be diving." So to make a long story short, the young boy was paralyzed from the waist down in one leg because I dented his skull.
Hmm.
Since he didn't have any money, my parents paid for the whole surgery to get him well.
Okay.
But the doctor said, you hurt your neck and you hurt your back.
Yeah.
So you can no longer do any more diving.
Wow.
So this is again when turning to other sports, and tennis had to be one of them
Yeah.
because my dad was very active in the tennis community.
Okay. How was your experience, especially at the beginning when you first touched the racket or when you first started playing tennis?
Mhm.
What was your experience like?
I'm alive. I can do something more than
Uh-huh.
just being a diver and a swimmer. And basically, my dad had a very nice tennis club with about 7 courts.
Hmm.
And I would go and hit against the wall when
Hmm.
he was playing with his friends.
Yeah.
That's what we call in Bolivia el frontón. So
Okay.
I would just go and hit forehands and backhands. Forehand. Nobody taught me how to use the racket.
Uh-huh.
I would just go and practice. And when the ball boys were not working, I
Correct.
would hire them.
Okay.
We would get tennis balls, about 10 tennis balls, and they would throw me a ball.
Uh-huh.
I would hit it. They would catch it. They'd throw me another ball.
Wow.
And the more they made me run, the more I paid them.
Okay.
So one Sunday morning, my daddy shows up and his friends are not there for the court year.
Hmm.
And I said, and he said, "Well, I'm here alone." I said, "Well, Daddy, I can play with you." And I said, "Really?" "Yeah." So we got on the court and he said, "Oh my gosh, where did you learn that?" "In the fronton, Daddy." And
Hmm.
this is again when he started to get attention on me and started to pay some of the people at the
Correct.
club to help him with my
Okay.
tennis game.
Wow. It reminds me of my time. My mom used to throw the ball.
Okay.
That's how I got it started with tennis, honestly, when I
Wow.
first wanted to start tennis too. So almost similar as you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Yeah. And I know that at age 17, you guys had received a scholarship to come
Hmm.
to America, correct?
Correct.
And out of 200 people who applied, three of the people got it, and one of them was you guys, correct?
Yes. 3 of us received a scholarship. 2 of them went to Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
I went all the way to Miles City, Montana.
Okay.
It was
Wow.
12,000 people out there. 10 below zero was a good day. And it
Wow.
was an incredible opportunity to be with American family, two
Uh-huh.
brothers. that taught me about the lifestyle of tennis,
Yeah.
a lifestyle in America, and they treated me like one of their children.
And then I know you got a chance to meet with President Kennedy.
Yes. There were 1,700 of us exchange students that were traveling all over the United States, and we met on the White House
Correct.
In Washington, D.C. with President Kennedy, not even 20 feet away from us.
Wow.
And his goal was to, hey, you guys, ladies and gentlemen, go back to your countries and tell them about America, the land of opportunity. And I never forget those words.
Wow. Yeah, I know that could be a surreal experience, right? A year before, you're in Bolivia. A year later, you get to meet with the most powerful man on earth,
Yes.
President of the United States. And then eventually, you went back. In 1961, you went back to your country, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And then you guys moved back to Chicago, and it started your college.
I didn't have money. I wasn't a very good student. Our education in Bolivia was completely different than America.
Yeah.
So the only place that I could really enter college was a junior college in Miles City, Montana.
Yeah.
They had 97 students.
So you went back to your old place.
The American family gave me the affidavit of the scholarship to come back again.
Yeah.
And then I played basketball, little guy like me, gymnastics, and tennis.
Wow. And you won some championship with tennis, correct?
We did the junior college scholarship conference in Montana, South Dakota, North Dakota, and Canada. Yes.
Okay. And after you finished your college, what was your dream when you were young, or when you first started your college career? What did you want to get involved into right after college?
I wanted to be a teacher.
Okay.
I want to educate people.
Okay.
So from Miles City, Montana, I ended up in a college at Eastern Illinois University in Charleston, where I played soccer, gymnastics, and tennis. That's how I kept my scholarship alive.
Yeah.
But I graduated with a degree in education.
Okay.
And I got my first interview. I got a job in Skokie, Illinois, teaching Spanish, coaching soccer, gymnastics, and tennis. And in 5 years, I was graduated in 1968.
Okay. Did you ever had a time when you first started teaching? Obviously, teaching is not an easy career to get into. Were there days or times when you were like, oh man, I should have done something. I should have, or was it like, this is it. This is what I want to do?
I'll tell you, God was so good to me. He kept showing me pathways of what he wanted me to be. And for teachers, as you know, we don't get paid very well.
Correct.
We work 9 months, 3 months free that we can travel and all that. But I wanted to do more because I started a family already. I had 3 children. And I was making as much money in 3 months being a tennis pro than I was doing 9 months being a teacher.
Yeah.
And that's when I decided, let me take a leave of absence. I'm going to take the leap of faith. And then I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to try to be a tennis professional. And that's when I became certified and eventually changed my whole life because I've been doing that for 54 years.
Yeah, you started that in 1972.
Correct, 1972.
Right? That's a long time.
Yeah.
I know that as for your time being, you were involved with Houston, correct? In Houston, the city of Houston, the tennis in city of Houston, and then you came here in Austin, Central Texas, to run CATA.
It was pretty longer than that. We were in Chicago. I had some tennis clubs indoors, which was nice. Summertime outdoors.
Yeah.
Then a company hired me to go to Phoenix. But I had a facility with 36 courts. Then after 2 years, they took me to Houston for 6 months. Took me to Dallas for 9 years. And then in the biggest country club in the United States, we had 51 tennis courts, 8 indoor, 8 covered, and 25 outdoor courts. And then my pathway took me to Savannah, Georgia, and a beautiful island called the Landings Club in Skidaway Island, where I basically built some tennis courts, a fitness center, and an indoor pool. And we were there for 7 years. Then I was hired in Boca Raton out of 200 applicants. Again, 200 was my magic number. Stayed there for 3 years, and this is when we decided, money is not about everything.
That's right.
Family life is more important.
Mm-hmm.
Our children at that point, some of them were in college, some of them graduated from college. They all got settled here in Austin, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided we're going to take a leap of faith, and we're going to come to Austin, Texas.
Okay. Yeah, and it's funny how we got connected too. I moved here to the US. I got started with tennis, but it's kind of too late at some point, There are people who start young, early in their lives, and then they compete. They compete with the schools, outside of schools, get involved with a lot of tournaments. For me, school was it. That's how I got introduced to it, right?
Wow.
And I wanted to play in college, but I had no idea how I'm gonna make it. Where all I wanted was to be an example for my brother, my family, my friends around me, to say, you know what, if you stay with something, you can make it somewhere. It's worth something, right? The time that you are spending is worth something. And I remember how you sent that note saying, I have scholarship to attend the college showcase. There is no way I was gonna go there and play with money, because obviously my family moved here, family of immigrants. We don't have money to spend on anything besides what we really need, right? You sending me that letter, I was like, wow, this means everything to me. And that meant everything to me, and it means everything to me till today, because if I had not gotten that note, no way I would have attended that tennis college showcase. I would have never met the college coaches who I got to meet with. No way I would have gone to college. No way I would have, been more involved with sport.
Wow.
So the impact that you made, the CATA, reaching out to me, meant so much to me.
Wow. You made my day, man. You made my year. That's a wonderful story. Yeah. Very much appreciate you sharing it with me. Yeah. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And it's not just me that you can impact. There are several kids who you guys have sponsored to play at College Showcase, or even, when you are hosting kids as the MVPs of their schools, it means something, because, obviously kids are so excited when they hear something regarding if they can, if they're receiving an award, a certificate, even a simple piece of paper means so much to people.
Wow. I'm glad that you feel that way, because CATA works very hard to keep the kids engaged into the sport and having a lifetime changes for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, yes. Obviously, kids getting involved with CATA and where they can, get a chance to go somewhere, especially in area like Austin. You're hosting tournaments all summer long, especially, right?
Right.
And that gives them a chance to show what they're capable of.
Right. Right.
Yeah. And a question that I have for you is, I know obviously you play tennis, your kids play tennis, your grandkids play tennis. What do you think is important in terms of how a parent, you had your son, you had your grandkids, right? So from a parent point of view, how should you support them?
Okay.
What should you do? How should you encourage those players? And also as a director, right? What comes along, what happens to players, how they how they have to deal with matches after matches, what they think mentally. What are some of the advice that you have for families and young players?
That's a very good topic, the George, because number one, as parents, we have to find something that our children like to do. Maybe sports, maybe music, maybe art, maybe musicals, can be art, can be theater. We got to find what they want to be. We cannot force what we didn't have in our lives to force them to do what
Yeah.
we were not able to do.
Correct.
So first of all, you got to find the passion to do that. Second, find the right people to teach them that. Many years ago, I gave a seminar to about 200 players when I went back to Bolivia. And they asked me to give a seminar and conduct clinics to my club that I left 43 years ago at that time. And I gave a seminar to 200 people that were having a tournament. And I said, coaches, parents, juniors, there are three people in your life that are making the difference. Number one, if you're in tennis, you got a tennis coach.
That's right.
It tells you, okay, how to do it.
Correct.
Okay, that the tennis player, the tennis professional, the tennis teacher. You got the coach that tells you where to put the ball. It tells you with that forehand, you should go down the line, you should go cross court. Third is the parent that loves you unconditionally, whether you win or you lose.
All right.
So there are three big pillars in the beginning. The reason why my children and a lot of my students have continued playing tennis, the first thing they did, first I taught them how to love the game. I don't care how they got the ball over the net.
That's right.
I don't give them 2 fingers with their feet. I don't care. I teach them how to keep score immediately. I want them to know that's a challenge or it's a competition. Then once they love the game, then I teach them how to play the game. You can do better with this forehand. You can do better with this backhand. And then after I teach them that and I make them better, then I'm not a selfish person. I let them go. I give them to people that can do better job. Then we have group lessons for them. They can have academies. They can have 5 days training, whatever in their heart wants to do.
As for a organization, what are some of the things that CATA is, planning to do in terms of hosting tournaments? Obviously you guys do donations, you guys run tournaments, you guys are always looking out in ways to help players, and high schools, clubs around here, get going. What are some other things that you guys are planning to do in terms of what is coming for CATA in the future?
CATA is so many aspects. We got leagues, tournaments, social events. We have 7,000 folks, probably 10,000 by now, that are in our roster. That are actively playing tennis. That we feel that young kids and beginners are the seeds of our programs.
That's right.
We want to water them. We want to encourage them. We want to love them. We're going to give them sunshine. We're going to give them, talk to them. We're going to give them something that the seed will be so solid that eventually they will decide what they want to do with life. I have some students, they have gone to college and become professionals. Some of my students, they become doctors. They become lawyers. But again, tennis was the seed that helped them to achieve all those goals. So that's how we're rolling CATA. We offer beginner, the JTT program is the best. You practice twice a week, you go on the weekend, you play a little game. Wonderful. Short and sweet. Parents, coaches in there. The Grand Prix programs that you all have played so much. 8 programs that are basically the next program, 1-day tournaments. 8 tournaments, then you qualify to go MOOCs, and you have a wonderful time. Then becomes L7s, L6, L5s, L3, L2, L1s, professional, college, professional.
And as for your your own personal point of view, how should we as a parent, how should we support them through their ups and downs? What obviously family support is a lot. It means a lot. Kids can have interest in any sport, whether it's football, soccer, tennis, basketball, anything. But like, as a parent, how should you support them? Where should we lean in toward them or away from them?
Give them realistic expectations. In tennis, Out of 128 players, there's only one winner.
Mm-hmm.
The rest are losers.
Mm-hmm.
They lost.
Mm-hmm.
There's only one winner
That's correct.
that goes home with the $3 million. The
Mm-hmm.
rest go with a little bit less money, but they didn't succeed. So if you tell that to your children that you are not going to be winning all the time, but if you win, embrace it,
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it. There was a survey done about players in every sport.
Mm-hmm.
What is the worst experience of playing sports? You know what they said?
What did they say,
It was a
Coach?
ride home with my parents, with my family.
Yeah.
If you won the tennis match, oh man, Duraj, you're going to be the next man. You're going to be the next Carlos. How are you? That
Mm-hmm.
forehand, that back, it was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You won it, man. I love
Yeah.
you. You know, we're going to go some ice cream. We're going to do great. All of a sudden, you lose. Duraj, why did you double fault on match point?
Uh-huh.
Why didn't you tie your shoes tighter?
That's right.
Why did you play with the wrong racket? The negativism.
Mm-hmm.
It makes no difference. The match is gone. Take him to have ice cream. Take him to the pool.
Yeah.
Have fun. Enjoy the ride with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the 2-hour drive from here to Dallas, enjoy it. Talk to them about life. Talk to them about the experience. The biggest regret that I have that I didn't ask more questions to my father and my grandfather about their past.
Yeah. Yeah.
After they're gone,
Mm-hmm.
you're trying to find out why didn't I spend more time asking questions?
Yeah.
So kids, ask questions to your parents. Parents, share story with your children and grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them about your struggles. Tell them about your happy days.
Mm-hmm.
Don't shut down. They want to know about the good, bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And even for me, when I think about it, if it wasn't for my coaches who were there for me when I lost my matches,
Mm-hmm.
who were there for me when I won my matches, I will never forget it. My college coach used to say, whether you win the match today or lose, I'm still going to buy you dinner. We're going to have to practice on things, but
Right.
you know what? I loved you just the same before your match, after your match. And it meant so much to me.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So you need to have positive support.
Yes, very much.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Coach, as for, your career and, what you have done with tennis so far, what keeps you going? What keeps the fuel? What's the fuel for you? What keeps you moving into this? Because you could have retired a long time ago, right? What keeps you moving?
I want to continue helping players, whether you're a tournament player or a beginner player,
Mm-hmm.
whether you're playing with your son, with your wife, with your child. I want to keep embracing that, letting them know that I have been playing tennis for over 60 years.
Yeah.
My joy is still to go and play tournaments, to play with my grandson in the national grandfather-grandson, to play with my daughter in the national father and daughter tournament, to play with my little kids, to go out with 50 kids on a Tuesday morning that we are living in a parking lot at the elementary school here in Pflugerville, to see them out there smiling and laughing when they hit that ball and it goes over the net. And I said, oh my God, this was incredible. This was so good.
Yeah.
It's giving positive things to the kids that they can do, even if they make a mistake, because mistakes keeps you growing and keeps enjoying the sport of a lifetime. In any sport, can be swimming, can be basketball, but tennis is, again, one thing that you can do until you're 80 years old, like me, 85, 90 years old. The most fun tournaments that I have when I go play national tournament, and I see the 90-year-olds playing tennis.
Yeah.
It's drop, shot, and love, baby. But they love it, and they go home with a big smile on their face.
Yeah.
And that's my attitude.
Yeah. Yeah. And lastly, I want to ask you, any tips, any recommendation, any words of wisdom for young generations following tennis, or just in general life advices? Anything you have?
Life is bittersweet. You're going to have good days. You're going to have tough days. Talk to your coaches. Talk to your teachers. Talk to your counselors. Be open-minded.
Yeah.
Nobody is perfect. We all gonna have good days, bad days. When you have the tough days, go and seek support. Don't let it eat you up.
Mm-hmm.
And stay awake at night thinking, what can I do? There are people that will love you, support you, understand you, and help you. Because those people that are teachers, coaches, counselors, everyone that they have had times of their lives that they had to make decisions, some good ones, some not so good ones. They'll teach you and they'll share with you their successes and their failures and continue growing.
Thank you. And Coach, I want to say thank you so much for everything that you do in the community, and congratulations. You just got in Texas Tennis Hall of Fame. Congratulations to you. You deserve it, Coach. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
all you're doing.
It's a great honor, and I'm honored to be in a group that is very selective. And
Yes.
thank you so much, Iraz.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
All
Thank you
right.
for being in my podcast. I'm so happy and pleased to have you here today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bless you all.
Thank you.